The second we loaded into this world, we thought it was just another Minecraft myth. You know the kind: creepy Reddit posts, fake screenshots, people swearing they saw glowing eyes in the dark. We laughed about it, we even joked, okay, let's see if Herobrine is real. But within minutes something just felt wrong. I can't explain it. Normally when you start a world it feels cozy, birds chirping, sheep bouncing around, everything feels calm. But this, the silence was heavy, too heavy. No ambient noises, no cheerful little Minecraft music in the background, just static, like the game itself was breathing in my ear. At first I thought it was just me being paranoid. I mean, it's Minecraft, it's blocks, it's silly, right? But then I noticed the shadows. They weren't behaving. Normally, I'd turn one way, and out of the corner of my eye, I swear they moved before I did. Like something was standing just outside of view. We kept playing, laughing it off, pretending it was nothing, but every step I took, I had that sinking feeling in my chest like we weren't alone. My friend even asked, "Hey, are you hearing footsteps?" I said no, but deep down I did, and that's when my stomach dropped, because the first sound wasn't ours. It wasn't us walking, it was behind us. I remember spinning the camera around so fast my mouse almost flew off the desk. Nothing. Just empty forest, but I swear to you, the hairs on my arms stood straight up. You know that feeling when you're being watched? That's exactly what it felt like. We pushed forward anyway, laughing nervously like, okay, this is fine, totally normal. But the longer we stayed in that world, the more it felt alive. The wind howled even though there wasn't supposed to be wind. Leaves rustled. And then, oh man, the screen glitched for half a second, just half a second, but in that flicker I saw something, two white eyes, right there, watching us, and then, gone. I froze. I didn't even want to blink. My heart was pounding so loud I swear it was louder than the game audio. My friend was like, "No, no, no, no. You saw that too, right?" And that's when I knew this wasn't a joke anymore. This wasn't just some random world seed. We weren't just imagining things. Something was actually there. And here's the part that made my blood run cold. The moment we turned around, he was already there. At first it was subtle. You know when something just feels a little off, but you can't prove it. That's exactly how it started. We walked deeper into the forest, trying to shake it off. But then we saw it, a tree, not just any tree. It had no leaves, completely stripped bare. In Minecraft, that doesn't just happen. I remember joking like, okay, maybe this world is just cursed, big deal. But then we saw another and another, whole patches of the forest with naked, empty trees, like something had drained the life out of them. It was unsettling. We kept going, and that's when we found it, a tunnel, perfectly carved, a straight path deep into the ground, like someone, or something, had dug it by hand, not random caves, not natural generation. It was too clean, too deliberate. I hesitated. My friend was like, "Bro, don't go in there. That's literally asking for it." But of course, curiosity won. We lit a torch and stepped inside. The moment we did, the air felt heavy. I know it sounds crazy, but even through the screen, it felt harder to breathe. Like the game itself was pressing down on us. And then, oh man, signs, wooden signs stuck into the dirt walls. No words at first. Just blank, which was creepy enough. But as we walked deeper, the text started appearing. One said, "Leave." Another said, "He is coming." My heart sank. I looked at my friend like, "You're messing with me, right?" But his voice cracked when he said, "I didn't place those." I laughed nervously, trying to shake it off, but my hands were literally sweating on the keyboard. Every sound echoed louder in that tunnel, the drip of water, the crunch of gravel under our feet. It felt like the walls were closing in, and then the torches, one by one, they started going out, behind us first, then the ones beside us, like something was following, snuffing out our only light. We panicked. I scrambled to place more torches, but every time I did, another one behind me went dark. My friend whispered, "Don't stop, just keep moving." And that whisper gave me chills because he wasn't role-playing. He was terrified. We picked up the pace, our footsteps echoing in the tunnel, hearts racing like crazy, and then out of nowhere we both stopped dead. Because ahead of us at the very end of the tunnel we saw him, just standing there still, silent, watching Herobrine, and before I could even process it. The screen flickered. He was gone, just gone. That silence, that emptiness, it was worse than if he'd attacked, because now we knew he was real, and now we knew he was hunting us. But what happened next? That's where everything went wrong. We froze, completely frozen. I didn't even touch the keyboard because I was scared if I moved, he would move too. The screen flickered again like static on an old TV, and right there in the corner of the cave, two glowing white eyes stared straight at us. It didn't feel like pixels anymore. It felt like he could actually see us, like through the screen. My chest tightened, and I swear my breathing went shallow. My friend whispered, "Don't move, maybe he'll go away." But deep down I already knew this wasn't some random glitch. The eyes didn't blink, they didn't shift, they just watched, unblinking, cold, and then he moved one step forward, just one. And that single step was enough to send us bolting. We turned and sprinted up the tunnel, spamming blocks behind us like maniacs. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely place them straight. My friend was screaming into the mic, "Go, go, go." But here's the thing, no matter how far we ran, the sound of footsteps echoed right behind us, louder, heavier, not ours, his, and it was steady, patient, almost like he was enjoying the chase. We scrambled out of the tunnel, finally hitting the surface, gasping like we'd actually been running in real life. I slammed the door on our base shut, as if a wooden block door could stop whatever that thing was. We both just sat in silence, staring at the screen, waiting, listening, and then we heard it. Thud, thud, thud. Heavy steps circling our house. My stomach sank. He was outside. I didn't want to look. I didn't want to check. But curiosity eats you alive, right? I slowly peeked through the tiny window we had built in the wall, and there he was, just standing there in the dark, his white eyes glowing through the night. I whispered, "Oh my God. He's real. He's actually real." And then he disappeared, just blinked out of existence. No footsteps, no sound, nothing. We both sat there frozen in silence. The game was still running. The torches still burned inside, but the world outside, it felt dead. I tried to laugh. I tried to say, okay, maybe it's just a glitch mod or some corrupted file. But even as the words came out of my mouth, I didn't believe them, and then came the breaking point, because just as I turned away from the window to calm down, my friend's voice cracked over Discord. He said, "Dude, he's in here." I spun my character around, and for a split second, just one terrifying split second, Herobrine was standing inside the house with us. And when the lights flickered back on, he was gone. But we knew then, we weren't safe in caves. We weren't safe in houses. We weren't safe anywhere. And the scariest part, when we finally dared to step back outside, we realized he wasn't alone. Stepping outside should have felt like relief. Fresh air, open space, no more claustrophobic tunnels. But instead, the world felt wrong. The sky was pale, washed out, almost gray instead of blue. And the strangest thing, every single animal around us, the sheep, the cows, even the chickens, they were all standing perfectly still, not moving, not eating grass, just frozen, and all of them were facing the same direction. At first, I thought it was some bug. You know how Minecraft mobs glitch sometimes, but no, the longer I looked, the creepier it got. Their heads didn't twitch. Their body didn't shuffle. It was like someone pressed pause on them, except their eyes. Their little pixel eyes were locked onto the same spot in the forest. We followed their gaze, of course we did, because curiosity always gets the better of us. And that's when the sun blinked. I don't even know how to explain it. One second it was noon, the next it was pitch black, stars in the sky, and then flashback to daylight. Over and over, night, day, cycling like the world itself was broken. I remember whispering, "Okay, nope, this is not normal at all." My friend was dead quiet, and when I asked if he was okay, all he said was, "Don't look behind you." So of course I did, and in that exact moment our house, our safe little cabin, suddenly caught fire, out of nowhere. No lava, no flint and steel, nothing. Flames raced up the wooden walls, eating it alive, and we hadn't even touched it. My chest tightened. I swear it felt like someone had reached through the screen and set it themselves. We panicked. We started grabbing what we could, tools, food, anything. But no matter how fast we clicked, the fire spread faster, and the whole time I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching, not just from outside the screen, but inside the game, pulling the strings. Then it got worse. The animals, the ones that had been frozen, they all started moving again slowly, unnaturally, and they began walking toward us. Not running, not panicking because of the fire, just calmly approaching, every single one step by step. Their little blocky faces blank, but it felt like they were under his control. I was yelling at my friend, "Get in the water, just go, go." We bolted into the river nearby, the flames lighting up the sky behind us, smoke billowing into glitchy patterns like static. I thought we were safe in the water, but that's when I saw it. Under the surface, blocks started disappearing, like something invisible was deleting the world around us. I swear to you, my stomach dropped. The land, the trees, everything we knew was being carved away. We swam faster, our hearts racing, but the world behind us was literally unraveling. And then I saw him, on the far side of the riverbank, standing perfectly still, glowing eyes locked onto us. No movement, no sound, just watching as the world fell apart around him. We froze in the water, too scared to go forward, too scared to go back. And then, without warning, the screen glitched, our inventories emptied. Everything we had collected, gone in an instant. I said, "That's it. That's not a bug. That's not lag. He's in here. He's controlling everything." And just when I thought it couldn't possibly get worse, the chat box opened by itself, and 3 words appeared, "I see you." But what happened right after that made us wish we had logged out while we still had the chance. The moment that chat box popped up by itself with those words, "I see you," we both froze. My hand hovered over the escape key, but I couldn't press it. It was like my brain refused to believe this was still Minecraft. My friend whispered, "That's not possible. Players can't type if they're not here." And all I could say was, "Then who just did?" Before we even had a chance to breathe, the world around us shifted. The sky turned blood red, glitching like a broken screen. Trees snapped out of existence. The river we had just swam through, it evaporated. 1 second water, the next second nothing but cracked dirt stretching out as far as I could see. Then the ground beneath us began to break, 1 block at a time. Perfect little squares vanishing in a path leading directly toward us, step by step. Like he was carving his way closer, we bolted, sprinting in zigzags, trying not to fall into the void that was opening up behind us. My heart was pounding so hard it hurt. I couldn't even hear my friend's voice anymore, just static through my headset, like the mic had been hijacked. And then came the whispers, not from Discord, not from my friend, from inside the game. Faint, glitchy voices repeating words we couldn't make out, overlapping each other, layered like 100 people speaking at once. I remember muting everything thinking it was my headphones. But the whispers kept going. Then I saw it, our names, our actual player names, written in giant obsidian letters across the hillside, like he had carved them into the world just to let us know. He knew who we were. That's when panic set in. We ran back toward what was left of our burning house, hoping maybe we could log out from there. But as soon as we reached it, the door slammed shut by itself. Then the windows turned black like pitch, black void blocks sealing us in. We didn't even place them, they just appeared. I heard my friend screaming in my headset, "He's inside, he's inside, he's inside," and when I spun my character around, there he was, standing in the middle of the room, those white eyes burning through the shadows, no movement, no sound, just waiting. I tried swinging my sword, nothing. The hits didn't register. I placed blocks to trap him, but they disappeared the second they touched the ground. It was useless. He wasn't bound by the same rules we were. And then my entire screen went black, not the game, my actual monitor, just pure darkness. I sat there, frozen, wondering if my PC had crashed, but then text appeared, white letters against the black screen. It said, "You can't escape." My stomach turned. I slammed my keyboard, trying to quit the game, trying to force close it, but it wouldn't shut down. The sound of footsteps echoed in my headphones, getting closer, louder, until it felt like they were right behind me in my room. And then the screen flickered back on. We were no longer in our world. The terrain was gone. Everything was gone. Just endless void stretching in every direction, except for one small platform under our feet. And across from us, standing perfectly still, was Herobrine. This time, he didn't vanish. This time, he moved one slow step forward, then another, closing the distance, his eyes locked onto us. I remember gripping my mouse so hard my hand cramped, whispering, "This isn't real. This isn't real. This isn't real." But my friend, he went dead silent, and that silence was worse than the footsteps, because that's when I realized he might not have been in the game anymore. What happened next made me question if we were even safe outside the screen. I sat there frozen, staring at the void platform with Herobrine walking toward us. My friend was still silent, too silent. I called his name over and over, no answer. Just that heavy, suffocating silence on Discord, like the mic had been cut. Herobrine stopped a few blocks away. He tilted his head like he was studying us, almost curious. Then the chat box opened again. And this time, instead of words, it showed our own messages, things we had typed earlier in the game, out of order, jumbled together, like he was replaying our voices back at us. Seeing my own words appear in front of me without typing them made my stomach twist. I tried logging out. Alt plus F4, escape, force quit. Nothing worked. My entire PC felt locked, and then my friend's voice finally came through my headset. But it wasn't his normal voice. It was distorted, glitched, almost robotic, and all he said was, "He's here with me." That was it. I ripped off my headphones, half expecting to see someone standing behind me in the room. My heart was pounding out of my chest. I didn't want to put them back on, but I had to. I couldn't just leave him in silence. When I did, the game had changed again. We were back in the forest, but it wasn't the same one. The trees were twisted, stretched unnaturally tall. The leaves looked almost burned. The ground was littered with crosses made of cobblestone. Everywhere I turned, more crosses. And in the distance, faint glowing eyes darting between the trees. Not just one pair, dozens. We weren't dealing with one Herobrine anymore. My character started moving on its own. I wasn't touching the keyboard, but my avatar walked forward into the forest, deeper and deeper, torches lighting up automatically along the path. I had completely lost control, and then the whispers started again, louder this time, clearer. They weren't random anymore. They were chanting one word, over and over. Herobrine, Herobrine, Herobrine. I wanted to quit so badly. I wanted to pull the plug on my PC, but something in me needed to see how it ended. We reached a clearing. In the center was a giant obsidian altar, flames flickering around it, and standing on top, Herobrine himself. The others with glowing eyes circled us, closing in slowly, like we were part of some ritual. The chat box opened again. One final message, "Now you belong to me," and then the game crashed, just straight to desktop, gone. For a long time, neither of us said a word. I finally asked my friend, "Are you still there?" And all I heard was static before his mic disconnected completely. I didn't reopen Minecraft that night. Honestly, I haven't opened it since. So yeah, safe to say we're never loading into that world again. Especially not at night. But if you're brave enough, if you think it's just a myth, go ahead. Make a new world. Maybe you'll see him. Just don't say I didn't warn you.